I welcome all of you that are interested in understanding this particular concept in maths. Let's look at the question. What is the common difference of the arithmetic sequence which has 7th term of 167 and 19th term of 23? Okay. An usual way to answer questions, especially in maths and other subjects which involve calculation, is to list down the information that is given in the question, look for keywords in the question, then from there we can know which formula is appropriate to use in the question and what is actually the question asking us to do. Okay, and that is what I'm going to do now. I'll try to list down the information and keywords that are given in the question to help me answer the question. So I look at the question again. What is the common difference of the arithmetic sequence? So up till here, I can know the keyword there is arithmetic sequence. This is an arithmetic sequence. And as soon as you see arithmetic sequence, all the formulas for arithmetic sequence should automatically come to your mind. So these are the formulas that are there in arithmetic sequence, the common difference formula, the nth term formula, and the sum formula. And these are the formulas that we will be using, and it will be depending on the question. Which one of them we will use, or we will use two of them, or just one, depends on the question. That is why we need to collect the information so that we use the right formula for the question. Which has 7th term of 167. So what is the meaning of 7th term of 167? 7th term simply means our T7, our 7th term, T7, the value is 167, and 19th term of 23, so that means our T19 is equal to 23. And what are we looking for? What is the common difference? So that means that will be our D. We are looking for our D. Okay. Okay, from the information given, we examine the formula. Which formula is appropriate to use according to the information that is given in our question? Let's look at the first formula. It says T2 minus T1. D equals T2 minus T1. In the first formula, we are looking for D. We don't know our T2. We don't know our T1. So that means the first formula, we can't use the first formula. So we'll just leave the first formula. We go to the second formula. Tn equals A plus n minus 1D. Tn, some values of nth term are there, T7 and T19. A, we don't know our A. Our n, we will know our n from here. And we are looking for D. So that means we can use this formula. We can use the second formula. That is the term formula. Okay. And for the sum formula, we can see it's a bit long compared to the other two formulas. So we'll stick with the second formula, the term formula. We'll use the second formula to find our common difference. Okay, so that is what I'm going to do now. Our second formula is Tn equals A plus n minus 1 multiplied by our D, our common difference. Okay, T7 is equal to 167, so we can use that information. In place of n, we put 7 there, because we know the value of T7, which is given in the question, it is 167, equals A plus our n. Can you see in place of n, 7 is there, so that means in place of n on the right hand side, 7 will also be there, minus 1 multiplied by our common difference, or D. We don't know that value, so we'll just write D there. Then we solve it further. T7, we know the value for T7, it's 167, so in place of T7 we can just put 167 there, equals A plus 7 minus 1 will be 6, and 6 multiplied by D will be 6D. So in this equation, we can see there are two unknown variables, and we can't do much from there according to the information given. So that means we can just make that as our equation. So I'll say that will be our first equation. First equation, okay, equation 1. Same thing we will do for T19 equals 23 because they are a bit of similar, only the values are different. T7167, T19 is 23. So I will do that. Tn equals a plus n minus 1 multiplied by a common difference. Now it is T19. So in place of n, we will put 19 there, equals a plus our n is 19. So in place of n on the right hand side, we will also put 19 there, minus 1 multiplied by our d. And T19, the value of T19 is given in the question, which is 23. So 23 equals a plus 19 minus 1 will give us 18, and 18 times d is 18d. So that will be our second equation. We can't do much from here because we don't know the value of a as well, but we are looking for the value of d. So at the moment we can see we have two equations there with two unknown variables, but the two unknown variables are same in both the equations. They are both a and d. A and d for the first equation, a and d also for the second equation. So what we can do, we put the two equations together, then we try to eliminate a. We try to do something so that the a will go away and only d is there in the equation, so that we can find the value of d, because that is what we are looking for in this question. So that is what I'm going to do now. I'll put the two equations together. The first equation is 167 equals a plus 6d, and the second equation is 23 equals a plus 18d. Okay, so you can see a and a, they are both positive. So what we can do, we can subtract the equation, because a minus a will give us 0. So that means a will go away and only d will be there in our equation, and that will ease our work. So we subtract it, but we will not just subtract a and a, we will subtract whole of the equation, both the equations. So our result will be like this: 167 minus 23. If you can't do that in your mind, you can just press in the calculator. 167 minus 23, 144. So 144, the equal sign, a minus a will give us 0. 6 minus 18, that will give you negative 12. I'll just show it here. 6 minus 18, it's negative 12. And d, 6d minus 18d, they are like them, so you can subtract them straight away. 6d minus 18d will give you negative 12d. Okay, so and then we solve it further. 144 equals 0 minus 12d will just give you negative 12d. Okay, and from there you can see d is multiplied to negative 12. We want d to be alone on one side so that we can find its value, so that we can know what is the value of d. But at this step here, d is multiplied to negative 12. So we will do opposite operation here. Opposite of multiply is divide. Divide by what? We divide by that number, and the number is negative 12. Divide by negative 12 both sides, and the negative 12 will cancel. So now d is alone. 144 divided by negative 12 will give you negative 12. I'll show it in the calculator. 144 divided by negative 12 will give you negative 12. So that's it. That means our d, our common difference, is negative 12, and we have answered the question.